And let there be arising from you a nation inviting to all that is good, enjoining what is right and forbidding what is wrong, and those will be the successful.
Here, a nation, I think the translation, a group of people, is better. And he let there be a group of people from you, coming out from you, who command what is good and forbid what is evil. Al-amr bil-ma'ruf wa-nahi anil munkar, commanding what is good and forbidding what is evil, is a fundamental part of Islam. And commanding what is good and forbidding what is evil is something which has many rules and regulations when it comes to it in Islam. And it's very important to mention some of them. From this is the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam: "Man ra'a minkum munkara falyughayyirhu biyadihi, فإن لم يستطع فبلسانه فإن لم يستطع فبقلبه وذلك أضعف الإيمان." Whoever sees an evil, let him change it with his hand. And if he's not able, let him change it with his tongue. And if he's not able, let him hate it in his heart. And that is the weakest of faith. So from this we learned that when you have authority and ability, you are required to physically change that evil and bring about that good. Physically. When you have authority and ability. If you don't have authority, you can ask someone in authority to change that evil. If you don't have that option, then if you have knowledge, challenge that evil with your tongue. Explain to people this is wrong, this is a wrong thing. Tell people it's wrong with your tongue. And if you cannot do that, and you cannot bring the issue to a scholar or a student of knowledge who can explain it with the tongue, then at least hate it in your heart. And my brothers and sisters, please understand, hating in your heart has actions connected to it. It is not something that I hate it in my heart and I'm still there. I hate it in my heart, so I move away from it. So I distance myself, so I go and stay somewhere else. So I go and cut off from those people because I hate it in my heart. If you hate something, you don't stay with it. Some people think hating in the heart just means, okay, I hate it in my heart, but I still do it, I still participate, I'm still a part of it. No, you hate it in your heart means you stop and you distance yourself from it. You cannot change that person, but at least you can move yourself away from it. Hate it in your heart. And that is the minimum that is acceptable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is for the one that neither has authority nor knowledge. They don't have authority and they cannot bring someone in authority, and they don't have knowledge and they can't bring someone with knowledge. And so what they have to do is to distance themselves because of the hatred that exists in their heart. From the principles of commanding good and forbidding evil, which are very important to understand, is that if an evil, commanding good and forbidding evil, brings about a greater evil, it is prohibited. It is haram in this instance. So it is haram for you to command good and forbid evil in a way that brings about a greater evil than the one that you're trying to stop. And I'll give you an example so that you understand what I mean. An example of, let's say this happened in some countries. There was a district, like a housing estate, like a compound or whatever. And inside of it, there was a shop that sold immoral videos and books and whatever. So the brothers came, and what did they do? They smashed up the shop and they burnt the shop to the ground. So they forbade the evil. They came and they smashed up the shop and they burnt it to the ground. What happened was, not only did the government of that country rebuild the shop, and it was as much or worse than it was before, but they also closed the masjid in that area. So they lost the masjid and they didn't stop the shop from existing. So they brought about a greater evil than the one that they were trying to stop. And they tried to stop an evil and they brought about a worse evil than the one that they were trying to stop. The shop remained where it was, or even worse than it was before, and the masjid was closed. Because it was seen that the people of the masjid are the one who damaged the property. So this is very important. If you are going to forbid an evil and bring about a worse evil in return, then there is nothing good in that. What about if you forbid an evil and it brings an equal evil? An evil that is exactly of the same level? Here, this is a matter of ijtihad, and it's a matter of judgment. Is it in the long run, is it likely to be better or not? Islam came to achieve good completely, and where good cannot be achieved, to increase it. And Islam came to remove evil completely, and where it cannot be removed, to decrease it. And this is a qa'idah, a principle that I want all of you to understand and implement. Islam came to establish good, and where good cannot be established 100%, to increase it as much as possible. And Islam came to remove evil, and where evil cannot be removed 100%, to decrease it as much as possible. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands and invites for there to be a group of the believers who enjoin, and they take it upon themselves to go and enjoin good and forbid evil. This could be an individual obligation upon a person. If you're the only person that can deal with it, you deal with it with your hand. If you can't, with your tongue. If you can't, with your heart. But likewise, there is a collective obligation here for there to be people in the society whose responsibility is what we call husbah. You need to go and to command what is good and forbid what is evil. You need to go and command what is good and forbid what is evil.
ولا تكونوا كالذين تفرقوا واختلفوا من بعد ما جاءهم البينات وأولئك لهم عذاب عظيم. And do not be like the ones who became divided and differed after the clear proofs had come to them, and those will have a great punishment.